Hi, Anna. This is Christina from The Upcoming.
Hello.
It's so lovely to speak with you today. To start things off, can you tell us what Caravan is about?
I always call it that sometimes you really need to lose everything so you could find it back again. So you realize that you already had it, or that you maybe never lost it, or maybe you need to lose it so you can feel again. And it's also about freedom, about motherhood, about being a woman, not being mother, being mother, not everything. And yeah, and the difficulty to bringing up a child with special needs.
Can you tell us a bit about Esther and her relationship with David?
Okay, so Esther is a single mom raising up a child with Down syndrome and autism, like a heavy autism. And she's alone. I think she's really exhausted. And she's hoping for having a holiday for a first time after a very, very long time. But things really don't work out how they should. And her and David, which is her 16-year-old son, they end up in Caravan, like on the road in South Italy, where she is trying to, meet again her memories, like her lost being young and being free. So she's trying to recreate it, and she's doing it with her son.
And what attracted you to this project in the first place?
I read the script, it was 2019 when I first saw the script, and I thought I was so amazed by how personal it is, because this is the story of director Susanna Kęerová, who herself has a child with that disability, or I don't know, with that same autism and Down syndrome. I'm sorry, I don't know how to really say it so it doesn't sound stupid. So she has the same kind of difficulties with her son, David. I was happy that someone is so open, so intimate about things that people are used to hide. Yeah, that made me cry, that she wants me to be the one who will perform these things, that she trusts me enough to portray Esther. So that was it. That was it. And then we had to wait for quite a long time before we started to shoot.
And what was it like working with David, the actor?
David, he just arrived, by the way. He's here. David is, we expected that it will be very, very complicated, because, the film, it's just her and her son, and all the scenes are together and they are tough. There's a lot of like seizures, and the film David, he's not talking at all. So we were always looking for someone who will be able to not just be there, but perform, but by the same time also just being there, because it's the best. And David just came like a superstar. I think he's a super actor, and he really worked on the role, because he's less, he's less handicapped than he's acting. He can normally talk. He talk all the time, but he never ever spoiled the scene with breaking the silence. So that he was very disciplined, and so to work with him was very challenging, but very easy, because you had to just be with him and follow his. He's very truthful. He's very natural and very sensitive, and also very ambitious and competitive. So when you tell him you're not going to make it, so he pushes himself, and he's able to do anything. And at the end, or towards the end of the shooting, he was able to offer versions, improvise, repeat, and so. Really, he's an actor.
And how did you prepare for your role?
I myself didn't really do much, because the script is written by the director, and that's her life. So I felt like everything I need to know is there with me all the time, by my side. So and I said, why would I have to study things, and like maybe that I would correct her? No, I could never, because she knows the best what it's about. So I didn't, but we really had to work with David, like 6 months before the shoot we started, or maybe more, 7. We had to learn him, stop and action, but lots of physical stuff too, because sometimes, because of the script or because of the scenes, he has to be like I don't want to say violent, but yeah, but physically violent or physical with her mother. And so we had to learn him, the levels and also learn him that it's not that he's mean boy. He's just like an actor, and I am not like a real mother, but this David can be quite tough to this Esther, but it's not between us because we love each other. So that kind of work that you probably would have to do with any child actor. So that was it. But he's really, really wonderful, I would say.
Why do you think that Italy, specifically coastal Italy, was the right place for this story to take place?
Maybe that's a question for Susanna more, but I don't know if you've ever been to really South Italy, and I put a picture on my Instagram when we were shooting just the landscape, and one of my friends said, "I didn't know that you are in Utah. Let's meet in Vegas." I said, "This is not Vegas. This is Calabria." It has this kind of roughness, and it's remote, but the people there are very, sharp and open, and I think that's what the story needs. And also, it starts up on the north, and it goes down. And I think you don't have that remote places in Czech Republic. You don't really get too far, and you don't really get to the dangerous places. And I think to be in a dangerous, remote place, it brings, different emotions, and it's almost like you get to the end. And you get to the end of the bottom of Italy, so you are at the end, and then you have to deal with everything there.
And what was the most challenging part of the filming process?
We really shot the movie in long takes, a lot of improvisations. When you work like this, really have to exist in front of the camera. You're not acting, you are just being there. And it's challenging, it's hard, it's confusing sometimes. And when you do it with David, because I think Down syndrome people are just I call them unicorns. They're just they don't lie anyway, but face to face to this 1,000% truth and truthful, expression and everything, it was magical somehow for me to work with him. But most difficult, I don't know. I very much like the part. It's not just about motherhood. It's also about leaving and the need not being mother sometimes. And you just go back to your body, to somebody else's body, and to be, to having sex and being sexually free or something. So that's also an important message in that movie for me. So when I read the scenes for the first time in the script, I really appreciated those scenes, and they were quite hard to do because I don't like to shoot them. Nobody likes to shoot them, but I think they are very much the underlining the movie.
So in the very beginning of the movie, Esther essentially steals the caravan from her friends. In your interpretation of Esther, why does she do that, and what does it mean for her character?
I know exactly why she did it, because they came to the house to see her longtime friend who lives in Italy, and probably she didn't see David for a long time. And, it happens that the little Down syndrome babies they are just cute and just, playful and easygoing as every other kid. But then when they grow up, they become more difficult because they somehow stay childish, but they don't control much. And so she doesn't feel comfortable to have David around her, daughters. So she just sends them away to stay in the garden, in the van. And I think it's just too much. It's just felt okay, you don't want us here. Okay, we go. We just go. There's a van, there's the keys, we go away. So I think it's just you don't want us here, so we are leaving. We shot much more material than it's in a movie, of course, as it happens. But there was more scenes in how it grows up in her. There's no water in the van. They cannot really use the toilet. So David has to go outside of the van. So it's very humiliating. And so she just says enough and goes away.
And would you consider Caravan a road trip film?
Well, I don't know. I think it's maybe confusing because I myself, when I hear a road movie, I think it should be funny. It should be there probably will be some funny, plot or something, some twist. I consider our Caravan more sensitive, more visual, more like slow pace movie. So I don't know if it's a road movie. Not the classical one, not like the one you think about, Born to be Wild, but something it's, you know, consistent for every road movie. So yeah, there is a problem on the road. So that's us. Okay, might be.
So this is kind of a coming of age time period for David, but would you also say it's the same for Esther? It's also her coming of age?
I think so. When you have a child that needs you 24/7, which in that case, she has to be there all the time, physically and mentally. So it might be also her like last chance to grab something, to live, to feel alive. So I feel like yes, it's like that we call, I don't know if it's, is it called swan song? It might be her swan song, but it must be very complicated when you are really like the bond and the all the responsibility is on her. So, and they don't have much money and anything. So I don't know, sometimes I felt like she might leave him, but she will not.
And has your idea of Esther changed from the beginning of the project to now?
Not much, not much. I thought maybe she might have stayed a longer time with her lover. There's some stuff that disappeared from the script, but I never thought she will stay there. But I think I always thought about her, what will happen when they come back home? And I think, when you get so far and you experience stuff like that, like that you really worry about something like deeply and you meet new stuff and new things, you are different. It changes. The road itself changes you. So I think I feel very nice about her and David going back home like a different David and different Esther. I think it's just like right. Really, sometimes you have to get to the bottom so you can rise up again. So I think there is like a new era for them when they get back.
What kind of conversations do you hope this film sparks?
I don't know. I think it's very important, the subject. There's always the subject that it's needed to be talked about. And in this case, I think it's, but in Czech Republic, the Down syndrome people are still, like kept a little bit out of sight, and people are nervous. They don't know how to treat them, how to talk to them. They don't know if they have any rights or if they are allowed, if they are self-confident or reliant. And so it's very strange that sometimes even the journalists, they get nervous, like if they can talk to David or if they can, what is his, you tell us what's his, diagnosis or something. And there's no diagnosis. He's just a Down syndrome boy, but you can ask him. He will be happy to tell you. So I think it's wonderful for me to like show people that these kids are wonderful. They are just like us. They're wonderful to be around. And he's a big sportsman. He just won 6 medals in the European Championships. So he's amazing. And I think it's needed. So that's the thing that also the state should maybe listen more to the people who take care about the handicapped kids, all of them. Like the support should be stronger. But also I think the movie, it's, after 30 years, we had a movie in Cannes, nothing in between. So before 30 years and now Caravan. And I think it's good for the Czech filmmakers to feel how subtle, how like visually, I would say brave or different or strange the movies can be. So the festival audience, wants them. That we are able to be, interesting for the film industry around the world with such a soft and subtle story, which is intimate, which is maybe not comfortable, which is kind of dirty but beautifully, visualized. And I think it's good for us Czech filmmakers to feel that, because I think Caravan is a lot about feelings. You really have to feel the movie, watch it and feel it. So that's the subject that I really feel. And I'm very touched by still touched by me being part of this movie and also to get this message.
On the subject of Czech filmmakers and the Czech film industry, how does it feel and what does it mean for you to be here at the Karlovy International Film Festival with David himself?
You know, I myself been many times in Karlovy. It's like it's a lovely place, and I love to come every year. You know, it's like full of friends, and I really I know that we really keep up the big standards, and because I've traveled all the festivals, almost everything. So, and now the final cherry was Cannes Film Festival, but I think we are very good. We're very, we're a perfect festival. And to be here with David, he just came, and I think he will love it. He will enjoy it, and he's really he's a showman. He can, really start things to move. So I'm looking forward. And I'm happy that we will, have some, interviews and shootings so everybody can enjoy his presence because it's magic.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.